What is up, guys? Burton here, back with another Illustrator tutorial, and yes, I have just carried straight on from the last tutorial. As you may have noticed, I've still got this orangey shape kind of thing, and yeah, back with some graphic design, tutorial-y, illustrator-y stuff. So yeah, just before I start, I just want to show you why Illustrator is so useful. If you didn't watch my last video, it's basically based on vectors instead of pixels. So Photoshop is to do with pixels, and if you really zoom in on a picture, it goes all pixelated. But Illustrator is to do with vectors, and that's all worked out by maths, basically. If you want to research it, go ahead, but you might just die of boredom, or your head might just explode or something. So yeah, this is Illustrator. If I zoom right in here, look, it just doesn't like pixelate at all. This is just like, I mean, look at that. So it's like pretty much industry standard. Well, it is industry standard for graphic design, apart from like freehand and stuff. So I thought I'd do a few tutorials on them. If you haven't watched my first one already, you might want to go back and watch that, just so you can see how to use the Pathfinder. But we'll be carrying on with another one right now. I haven't actually decided what I'm going to do, but I'm going to decide very shortly. And yeah, so I suppose we should get cracking. So we're going to do text. I've decided. So I'm going to create some text. Basically, with the text, it may be obvious for some. For others, it may be not so obvious. Basically, if you use some crazy fonts, crazy, oh, for that. Text, okay. Where was I? Yeah, if you use some crazy fonts that not many people have, and then you send your Illustrator file to someone else, say if you're at college or whatever, like, say if I sent some work that I've done to a tutor, to my tutor, and I had the text as an actual text object like this, so you can editable and what have you. Say if she didn't have the font installed on her computer, it wouldn't show up. So yeah, it may be obvious for some, but I just thought I'd let you know. So basically, I'm just going to show you how to stop it from being a text object. It's pretty simple. And I think I might just show you something else after that. So yeah, let's get cracking. So let's just see if I can just find some crazy text. Some fonts. Let's use Ostrich Sans. Ooh, ostrich. Okay. So we've got our text. And I don't like this. This is my still my first session of using CS6, which probably explains why it's all grey. If you get any earlier version, it's all going to be light colours, but this is all dark. I know I can change it, but I actually quite like the look of it. And all this sort of stuff is all changed. Like, there used to be sliders and what have you, but now it's all different. And I hate change. No, I'm just kidding. So we have our 200 PT text, and we do some sweet designing, for example, and we send it to our tutor. And say if we obviously if you save it as a PDF and send it, it'll be fine, because that's just like an image. If you send the Illustrator file and she hasn't got the font, basically she can't see the font, and it'll just come up in like Arial or something scrandy, or like Myriad or something. So basically, you grab your text, you come over to type, you click on create outlines, and it basically just changes them into shapes. When you click on one of the letters, though, it will highlight the rest. But don't worry, just because it seems like a sort of rasterizing process, if you're familiar with that in Photoshop. When you like scale, like make it bigger, smaller, blah 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 blah. Burp. If you do all that kind of stuff, it's not going to lose any pixels, because it's not pixels. That's pretty much why. Oh, I'm burping like fuck. It's had a bowl of crunchy nut. Maybe it's going to be a bit of wind. So yeah, it's not going to affect it. So let's think. Got the create outlines. What else? What else? What else? Alright, okay. So, say if we have this cool shape here, and we decide that we want to use this in a design. And so let's just say for example, we want to make a few of these. So you just select it. I covered this in my last tip, by the way. You just select, hold Alt, get the two triangles or arrows, drag. If you hold Shift, it'll do the whole locking thing. And as long as it's these green lines, you see those green lines? You probably have to have it in like 720 to see them, but they're there. It means that it's all centered and lined up. So, got a few. So let's say we want to fill this in. So I'm going to create another square, like this. And if you want to join those two up, this square and this shape, you just come over to your Pathfinder and hit this, which is Unite, which basically like boshes it all in together. I think there might be another kind of Unite thing. Merge. Yeah, merge. This basically just merges the shapes into one path. So now we have this shape, and we want to put some text in it, but we only want the text. We want the text to sort of take on the form of the shape. So we go ahead and get some text, and we make sure that it's not orange, because we won't be able to see it. And we're going to make it black. So basically, you just want to get that all selected. Get your text, and basically when you bring it over into this shape, you'll see, if you have it near the edge, if it's in the middle, you see that's a square round near the arrow, but on the move it to the left a bit, it's a circle. If you click when it's a circle, my font is way too big. Let me just take that down to about 24. If you take it, if you click in when it's a circle around the arrow, basically if you start typing, blah 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 blah, it's going to sort of take on the text is going to take on the shape of the shape that it's in, pretty much. So that's a pretty handy tool, I guess. And then it'll give you this like, oh shit, what the fuck is going on? So it might end up doing this, where it just thinks that you've wanted to use that as like the text outline. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to undo. I'm going to have to undo all this. Right foot up. I'm going to delete it. So basically, if we get a circle, ellipse, shift, pull it out to make a circle. If we go ahead and get some text, make it white, and if you go near the edge, look, the dotted line around that little arrow goes into a circle. Click there, start typing away, and it's going to take on the shape of that shape. And yes, it is going to leave, it's basically going to think that you've only created the circle in order to fill it with text. In order, to give the text some shape that you're about to create. So if you want to avoid that, which I stupidly didn't again, you want to just like get your circle and then get your circle, hold Alt, and just duplicate it, just so you can like put that behind once it's done. So I'm just going to make all this white. And then it's good to go. We can put it over into here, and you'll see that. Right. So another thing that's happened. Basically, this black circle is over the top of the text, and I can't get to the text. Say if you didn't want to move it, if it was going to go out of line or whatever. Basically, the command. I don't know if this is going to come up on screen, but the shortcut for this command to get things to go back into the image, like go under layers, is command and then the square bracket, the left square bracket, which is that, and then the right square bracket brings it forward like so. And it basically, yeah, so we've created the circle with the text in. And it all seems very, like, simple and childish, I guess, and random shapes. But trust me, this is the way to go. So let's see what we can do if we bring this over the top of the circle, and then hold the circle. And then we come over to the Pathfinder, and we hit minus the front. It's going to cut away. Here, look. It's basically trimmed totally through the circle, using this shape to cut through. Let's see if we can... Oh, wrong one. Crop. These are the pathfinders, and it's like the paths, and this is the shapes. Like, once you use it more, you'll get used to it, but like, it's hard to explain this kind of stuff. Trim. What am I doing? Same again, pretty much, just a bit inverted. Blah 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 blah. So you get the idea, basically. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this tut. I really want you to go and get Illustrator and start using it if you are interested in becoming a graphic designer, because it is really useful and it is pretty much just the industry standard. Unless you're going to be doing like really crazy stuff, I don't know, that could involve Photoshop, but I know that a lot of YouTube graphics is just purely Photoshop, but if you can steer away from that in any way possible, you want to, because to be honest, the Photoshop, the YouTube generic backgrounds don't really do much for professional graphic designers, and if you show them, they're not really going to be that impressed, to be honest. So if I were you, I'd get yourself Illustrator. Any means possible, if you know what I mean. And yeah, hope you've enjoyed. I'm probably going to do another tut right now, just because I'm actually enjoying them tonight. So yeah, stay tuned in a bit.